Brew Strong is brought to you by Blickman Engineering, home of the top-tier brewing stand. Visit them online at blickmanengineering.com.
It's time for the beer radio you've been looking for. This is the show that dispels myths, tackles the toughest topics, and makes no apologies for geeking out on beer. Hosted by two guys that drink before they think. Jamil and John Palmer. This is Brew Strong.
Hey, howdy, hey, my brewing brothers and sisters.
Greetings, cretins. How y'all doing today?
Might I answer your question?
It does. I wish I could reciprocate.
Pizza and beer. Pizza and beer. I am queer for pizza and beer.
Was that a single in the UK?
Oh, it might be.
Maybe.
Will be now. That's going to be popular. I'll tell you that. Song of that bad boy. Speaking of bad boys, how about our good friend, Mr. John Blickman?
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
The original bad boy rebel manufacturer of brewing equipment.
The original bad boy that wears a pocket protector. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
As geeky and freaky as they come.
Mm-hmm. But he's innovating your homebrew. Right,
yes.
John? Or JP?
I agree with you. 100%.
Cool.
What'd you say? Just kidding. That's true. And he still hasn't cut me that check yet, though. So
That's a great group of folks out there. Ever since they started sponsoring, I've gotten more and more chance to hang out with John Blickman, and I'll tell you, he's just one character. Just got quite a character. When I say geeky and freaky, that's him.
Yep.
That's him.
That's right.
2 words. He's awesome. Making
friendly and
yes.
Loves to hear from fellow brewers like yourselves.
Well, I'll tell you, if you guys are going to be out at the National Homebrewers Conference coming up in June out in Philly.
That's right.
I'm sure Mr. John Blickman and a bunch of his crew will be out there. They haven't missed a conference in
last 5 years or so.
Yeah, 5, 6, whatever.
Yeah.
And they'll be out there, and usually he likes to demo some new equipment that they're working on.
Right.
Do a demo of brewing on one of their systems. Do a lot of different things, and real cool. Go up to their booth, say hi to them, tell them you appreciate that they sponsor the show, and I tell you, he really appreciates it. He's not asking for any more than that, and he's not even really asking for that. We are. So do us a favor, go up and tell him how much you appreciate that he does this for us. So that and. The AHA, they're holding the National Homebrewers Conference in June. You're going, right?
Oh, yeah, I'll be there.
I'm going, too. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I wouldn't miss one. It's always a great chance to reconnect with a lot of friends from years past and learn. I really enjoy going to the talks.
Right.
I learn a lot of really good stuff at the talks. Whether it's, what may seem like a mundane topic like mashing, but everybody has different experiences and has something to bring to the table.
Some serious experts,
they do.
to talk about stuff. And the thing I love about it, you mentioned seeing some old friends and making new friends. If you want to feel like part of a community, a great loving, welcoming, fun community, go to the Homebrewers Conference.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's fantastic. It's really going to my first Homebrewers Conference in Texas. Right after that is when I got my lifetime AHA membership.
Yeah,
because I was just like, I'm going the rest of my life. I'm going to these things, so I might as well get my lifetime membership. And it's really fantastic. I've real passionate about the AHA, and I think people listen. You go check it out. There's a link on the Brewing Network site. You can sign up, be an AHA member. You're going to get Zymergy magazine, pub discount program, all sorts of good things. But what you're going to do is join a great community and be supportive of the organization that really helps protect homebrewing in the United States. So, more and more, that's important with all the anti-alcohol factions out there. You need to have somebody kind of looking out for you. So I'd suggest signing up for the AHA personally.
Me too.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of friends at the conference, I think the Hudacheks owe us lunch. I don't know.
They do.
Or maybe we've switched over from us thinking we always owe them lunch to now maybe we're thinking they always owe us lunch.
Yeah. I don't know. I forget where we came out.
No, I think this last time they must have bought lunch because you weren't there.
Okay.
And then we were going to make them buy dinner at that expensive steakhouse.
Right.
Or Ruth's Chris.
Right.
And then we kind of backed off on that.
Yeah, we kind of went Dutch. Yeah, that was more expensive than it was worth, I think. It was interesting, but
I met the Hudacheks at the Florida conference.
Yep.
They berated me for 45 minutes and called me all sorts of names for beating them in competition. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, but that happens to you a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah, but not quite like the Hudacheks. Yeah, so now we're all buds, and we go out to lunch every conference. I got to make it out to their compound there one of these times.
Yeah, me too.
I think we're just going to have to break down and make a separate trip.
Yep.
I think I've got to be in the cards. All right. So what we're doing today is live Q&A show, and if you've got questions for us at Brew Strong, what you do is you email brewstrong@thebrewingnetwork.com, put in the subject matter Q&A show or Q&A, and we'll know that you just have a question for the show. If you've got suggestions, other things, complaints, whatever, go ahead and send them all into the same email address, but we tend not to respond to that email address because it gets thousands of emails, so we just use it as a repository for incoming questions.
And the way our protocol works is when a show is coming up the next day. Well, standard operating procedure. Yeah,
our SOP.
But, the day before the show, it's like, okay, what's in the box, and we start going through the questions and print them and look them up, and then we read them on the air here and try to answer them. So
that's the highly detailed, complex way that we operate here.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, if you put Q&A there, it helps us find your question right before the show.
Dig through all the grow your penis larger.
Right.
That's a whole nother sponsor, though. All right. What's our first question you got there?
It's a beaut. It's from George Theodoritis from Australia. Mm-hmm. And he says, I hope you have Good
day, mate.
Yeah, he said that. And then I have a question I hope you folks can shed some light on. My setup uses a pump that recirculates wort from the center bottom of the kettle straight up, kind of like a Braumeister clone. It looks like a moderate roll-in boil, even when it's not at boiling temp, due to the pump action. Mm-hmm. I was wondering if I could pocket the benefit of not using so much energy boiling and reduce the risk of boilovers by using the agitation caused by the pump at, say, 90 or 95 C. Would hop utilization be similar? Could there be other effects of not actually reaching 100 degrees C? So he's asking, is the fact that the wort is roiling but not boiling equivalent or nearly equivalent to a rolling boil?
I think that would be very similar to being at elevation, although the atmospheric pressure's higher, so it may not even be as effective as being at elevation. I would think that hop utilization will definitely be lower.
Yep.
And
because that's a function of temperature,
right? And then also
volatilization, DMS precursors.
Yeah, all that happens, anyways, at a slower rate, and with the churn of the wort exposing to the surface through the pump, that would help. But there might be a few things that are different, not quite getting to. I mean, it depends on 10C is what he's talking about. That's considerably lower. That would be like
180,
190. Right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, 190.
Around in there. Yeah, somewhere around in there. That's pretty low.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
I'm wondering about brake
issues.
Coagulation.
Yeah. You might have trouble with
Haze.
not getting quite as much hot break.
Yeah.
Again, part of that is the mechanical action of them bumping together.
Mm-hmm.
But the heat needs to be high enough for it to, denature and clump together.
And conceivably, it would change the flavor of the beer a little bit, depending
I think
on the
it
style.
would, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
because, you're...
Formation of melanoidins,
right.
Things like that,
The temperature difference. It's going to have an effect, whether it's a really significant effect or not.
Or if it's a smaller effect. I mean, you just have to side by side some batches and see.
Yeah.
I think that's the way to go. I mean, you might be onto something there where you could knock a few degrees off, but 10C, that seems like quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that the electricity used to run the pump might cost you as much as the fuel to run the boil.
That could be too.
Because really, the amount of energy that you're putting in is probably close to the same as once you get it to a boil. The trick is getting the wort to a boil. Once it's a boil, it only takes a certain amount of energy to maintain a boil. And once you're in that phase change, I think maintaining it is easier. So I'm not sure you're necessarily saving a whole lot unless you're heating, I guess, with propane or something like that, and it's costing you more than the electricity. That might be something. Yeah. But you could also add an electric, if you got cheap electricity, like you're running solar or something like that, you could go with an electric element in the kettle to support your boil and require less propane.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest savings, yeah.
So, there you go.
And I think it's Theodorides. I think he's Greek.
Oh, okay.
What do you think of that?
A Greek living in Australia.
Yeah, he's confused.
Go figure. All right.
I guess it's like Greece, but without the financial difficulty.
There's lots of sailors there. All right.
Your turn?
My turn. Barry says, "Hey guys, why are all my folks with high-pitched voices? Why did you hand me those? Hey guys, I have a couple of questions regarding light exposure. One, I hate it when people have so many questions they need to number them. One, I have a large Pepsi fridge that I use in my fermenting fridge. It has a large glass door in it. I use 16-gallon LME barrels to ferment in, and these barrels are translucent enough that you can see a decent shadow of the liquid Croizon line. For a long time, I've been using black bristleboard to cover over the glass door so that no light can get in, because I assume that the light will have an effect on the beer. I know that beer will go bad if exposed to light, but will the same thing happen to your beer while it is fermenting? Why does beer go bad when exposed to light?"
Well, that's an easy one.
Because light is no good. I think this may make a good show idea, since I haven't seen anything about light exposure, unless I'm just effing blind. Anyways, thanks for your time. Love the shows, and keep up the good work.
Okay. Good question.
So why does light make beer go bad?
Yeah. Well, depends on exactly what he means by bad, but I'm guessing that he's referring to skunking.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the most obvious signs of light-struck beer, is that it develops the mercaptan kind of smell. kind of a high sulfury, stinky smell. He mentions the curse of the green beer bottles, because green glass does not block ultraviolet light like the brown glass does, or clear glass. And the ultraviolet light reacts with these sulfides or sulfur compounds they're a hop compound, and converts them to mercaptans, which is very similar to skunk smell. So when we talk about light struck beer, it's that skunkiness we're talking about. I'm not sure of the optical properties of polyurethylene.
There's no UV going through that.
Okay, so it's the UV that's the problem.
Right. No, plastic's a good absorber of UV. That's why plastic breaks down. You leave it out in the sun, and it becomes all brittle and goes nasty pretty quick
because it blocks
UV and So I doubt a lot of UV would get through there.
Okay.
And skunking, it's a pretty volatile aromatic.
Yeah. So you'd know it if you had it.
Yeah. I don't.
Other than that, I think that's the only light damage that I would expect.
Right.
Of the beer.
Well, and the other thing you can do on this fermenter is just take a T-shirt, black T-shirt, whatever, and just pull it over the top of it.
Yeah, that's true.
That works well as well. Might be easier than the bristle board.
Yeah.
All right.
Or you could use some lingerie if you lean that way.
Right, some panties. Well, and what you could do is go to our fine sponsor, AdamandEve.com. They've got all sorts of great adult entertainment products. And they even have some stuff for dress up there. And you can dress up your carboys and your fermenters to
just the way you like them.
Just the way you like them. I think that's a great idea, Palmer. I think John's really onto something here. I'll tell you what. You can use the offer code Jamil, Jamil. Go to AdamandEve.com. You can get a pair of lace panties, 50% off. You can get 50% off just about any one item.
I think a camisole would fit a fermenter better.
Right. Well, and you can use the offer code Jamil. You get 50% off that one item that you need for your carboy, and maybe you want to give it some like mood music type of thing. You can set up a little DVD player, a little TV, and you could rock your Fermenter's World with 3 free adult DVDs that you choose, so you can figure out what your beer wants.
Yeah.
Your beer might, prefer MILFs.
Agitation is good for fermentation.
Might prefer big breasts. Who knows? You could choose that. You can choose from genres such as anal, amateur, Asian, big breasts, big butts, bisexual, chunky, co-ed, fetish, gay, interactive, POV, lesbian, MILFs, etc.
Is there one for bunghole fingering?
Right. Yeah. I mean, you get one where, I don't know if that would please the fermenter or upset the fermenter.
Yeah, I don't know.
Whether it gets its whole fingered.
It's not it is an entrance and an exit. So
there you go. On top of that, you can get a fine, sensual new toy, or a special gift, and free shipping. So you buy one item, 50% off. That's all you're paying. Okay. Then you get 3 free DVDs, you get free gift, and free shipping. It's quite a heck of a deal from AdamandEve.com. So go check it out. You can even do it from your mobile phone, so you can stay next to your fermenter and browse from your mobile phone, AdamandEve.com, or the mobile site is m.adameve.com. So check them out. Great sponsor, and all sorts of things for your lovely fermenter. Should you just so desire.
Very good. Very good.
All right. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll wrap up after this.
Hey, Jack, what you doing? Playing Warcraft?
No way. It's TBG time, buddy.
TBG?
Get with it. I'm playing that brewery game.
What brewery game?
No, that's the name of the site. Thatbrewerygame.com.
What?
Yeah, check it out, man.
If you've ever brewed beer in your dreams or wish you could mash in right from your desk at work, you can. Kind of. With That Brewery Game. You can brew up a great batch of beer from anywhere virtually. then you can sell it, because in that brewery game, it's legal to sell your beer to the public. Create recipes, brew virtually, upgrade your equipment, upload labels, and test market your brand at thatbrewerygame.com.
You still slinging pissed off birds into buildings from your phone? Forget that. Try making beer.
Sweet.
Register right now for your free account at thatbrewerygame.com. Brew, drink, play. Thatbrewerygame.com. When you hear Blickman Engineering, think innovation, passion, quality, and customer service. Blickman gear is designed by brewers to give you a sense of pride in your equipment. At Blickman, they know what makes brewing a pain and build gear that makes it fun. Like the intuitive beer gun, a completely different approach to filling bottles. The Therminator Wort Chiller, a new take on a plate chiller that's sized for flow, performance, and the high groundwater temps homebrewers face every day. The Brewmometer, a brilliant weldless thermometer design with brewing parameters right on the dial. The Autosparge, ultimate simplicity for preventing an overflow or running your mash tun dry. And much more, like the modular top-tier brewing stand, conical fermenters, and their Boilermaker brew pots. With more cutting-edge equipment coming soon, keep up with the latest from Blickman at blickmanengineering.com and stay on the cutting edge. Where can you still find $7.95 nationwide shipping, a friendly, knowledgeable staff, and all of the stuff to brew for less? Homebrew Stuff.
Isn't the homebrew stuff a sexual maneuver?
Homebrew Stuff is the largest homebrew supplier in the Northwest and can be found in Garden City, Idaho, and online at homebrewstuff.com. Equipment and ingredients for brewing beer and wine, soda and liquors, books, instructional DVDs, beginner kits, and a great selection of grain and hops. Homebrew Stuff also has dozens of free videos online to help make brewing easier. Visit homebrewstuff.com now for the best prices with their match or beat guarantee. BN Army members can take 10% off their first order with the coupon code BNARMY. Kegs, regulators, faucets, towers, carboys, conicals, barrels, you name it. Get your homebrew stuff for less at homebrewstuff.com. Homebrew Stuff. Not a sexual maneuver. Just the best prices and great service on all the stuff you need. homebrewstuff.com.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters, this is Jamil Zainashev, and I love a bold, hoppy beer, one that spits resin in your face and makes you cry uncle. There are a lot of great hoppy beers out there, but at Heretic, we want to make something as bold, dank, and resiny as possible. We use hops at every chance we get, including multiple dry hop additions. The result is Heretic Evil Cousin. This light golden, 8% Imperial IPA has an easy malt character that helps take the edge off the massive bittering, but it takes a back seat to the in-your-face hop character. We make sure this beer finishes dry so the hops can jump out and slam you in the taste buds. If you can't get enough hoppy goodness, Evil Cousin is your cup of tea. Cheers.
What'd you get? More brewing ingredients?
Yep. You know what I love about Brewmaster's Warehouse?
The $6.99 shipping?
Well, yeah, but...
Oh, the in-store classes for beginning brewers.
Yeah, that's cool, but...
Oh, the Brew Builder. Creating and saving your recipes online is awesome!
No, I mean, yes, but...
The cheese-making supplies.
No.
Oh, the wine-making supplies. Oh, the distilling equipment and liquor flavorings.
All that stuff is awesome, yes, but what I really love is that the guy who runs it is totally hot. And that Brew Builder software is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Brewmaster's Warehouse brings you flat rate shipping on great equipment and ingredients to make beer, wine, cheese, and spirits at brewmasterswarehouse.com. And if you're in Georgia, stop by Brewmaster's Warehouse Monday through Saturday from 10 to 6. Visit brewmasterswarehouse.com today because it's totally hot.
Oh, yeah.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over
over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of the buzz, the forum, the learning center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
Back to the two guys that know how to turn beer into beer. This is Brew Strong.
All right, we're back
with more of your questions
after this.
Right now. Yeah.
That's my joke that we're fading back into this. Right.
We're all mixed up. Okay.
So who's next?
Some of us.
You are.
I am? Okay.
You've got a bigger stack. And more questions.
Hey, guys. I'd really like to learn to count yeast cells so that I know I'm pitching the right amount. I'm sure there are plenty of other folks that appreciate a show on this topic. How would I go about doing this, and what equipment would I need?
Yeah, we probably should. We probably should knock out a whole show on that, I think. But just the basics. The first off, pick yourself up a copy of Yeast, by Homeboy and Dog Meat.
Yeah,
you find it in the Brewing Network store, thebrewingnetwork.com. It's got the whole thing on counting yeast and doing testing for
setting up a home yeast lab, I believe.
Yeah. Everything from the real basic tests to some fairly extensive stuff. You get yourself a copy of that because it's got pictures and stuff that will really help. And then you're going to need a hemocytometer.
Okay.
You're going to need a microscope capable of about 400x.
Okay. Now, both of those sound like very high-tech items. How high-tech are they?
Yes, they've had microscopes around for hundreds of years. Pasteur,
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, my point kind of being that a 400x microscope is not a large microscope. It's a pretty common microscope, really.
We're not talking like electron scanning here.
Yeah.
You get yourself a nice lab grade microscope on eBay for $200.
Yeah, probably 200. Yeah,
$200 to $300 for a nice one. You might find some even cheaper than that. Some of the people have done it with those digital camera microscopes recently.
Right.
I've seen some
cameras,
stuff.
Yeah.
And those might work. And those, you see those sometimes as cheap as like $60.
Yeah. In fact, there's some really
how well those will work.
I've used those in my job, and some of those work really nice, and they do 400x, no problem. You can even get them up to 1000x.
I think you don't have to like oil immersion for that.
Well, no. I mean, the thing about magnification is it's greatly reduced depth of field when you're at that magnification level.
Right.
But
which is why the oil and all that. But the refraction through the air. But I mean, you can blow anything up to 1,000 times, but if the data's not there. Yeah.
But I mean, but a USB microscope that you can plug into your computer and look at you on the screen.
Yeah.
Those are like $100 to $200 as well. And it's kind of nice that you can have it digitally stored on a computer if you want.
The only thing about that is when you count yeast, you need to have. It's good to have light coming from underneath.
Ah, that's true.
So that lights the cells from behind, and different kinds of lighting. You find different microscopes have different types of light sources and lighting that are. Some are good for counting cells, some aren't. So it can be more difficult or easier to count cells, especially if you're looking for things like bacteria. So that you need the hemocytometer, you need the cover slips for the hemocytometer. Usually they're sold together. The hemocytometer will run you like $50 on eBay.
Yeah. It's a glass slide with
grids on it.
Yeah.
It's good to have a nice clicker for counting. It's good to have
like a lap counter kind of thing.
Yeah,
sports.
Yep. And you can get that for less than $5 because otherwise. you make mistakes.
You do your
Right.
one, you look away, mark down a little tick mark, look back, 2.
Right. You do the counting, or you're counting, and you're like 10, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 40, 32, and then you got to start over. So you have the clicker. It works really well. And then you need a way to accurately measure the volume of the slurry that you're starting with and the how your dilution rate. So usually, like a graduated cylinder, you get like yourself a 10 mil, and you get yourself a 100 mil.
Do you get those off eBay too, or do you have to go to like a lab supply store?
Sinmar is good. They have reasonable price. They'll have the counter, the clicker. They'll have all that stuff if you want.
Okay.
But it won't be as cheap, but they'll have it all and everything you need for that. That's about all you need. That and then, plenty of time. And the trick on counting is to get your dilutions right.
Okay.
If it's too heavy, you're not going to be able to count correctly. And you want to get it even. You want to get the flocks all broken up. And if it's too thin, you won't have enough cells to get an accurate count. If it's too thick, you won't have enough cells to get an accurate count. So you have to kind of play around with it. Repeat when you first learn to count cells, repeat until you can kind of get it consistent, because you can have a huge variance, like 500%, by just kind of messing up. So
yeast come in flocks rather than herds, huh?
Well, yeah, they come one, they come all. And somebody came up with software. If you have one of those digital cameras that will inspect an image and count how many objects are on that image.
Well, that's
so you
nice.
can use it for cell counting, so automated cell counting. So, I mean, there's expensive ways to do it, and somebody came up with just an app to do it.
It's like, yeah.
So there you
go. Okay. Well, see, that's not too involved. It's not bad.
No. My turn.
Good question, Chris. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
Don has a clarifying agent question. Don says to Jamil, John, JP, Justin, and anyone else with a J name. First, please insert appropriate fluffery here. You guys are fantastic, but you tend to gloss over it. So,
well, we are pretty fantastic, and I guess we don't talk about that enough, huh?
Right. I think we spend the rest of the show just talking about how great we are.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for your question, Don. All right. Next. I've been brewing for quite a while now, and for all that time, I've used Irish moss and now Whirlflock as a boil time clarifying agent, kettle fining, as we call it.
Right.
It's always worked reasonably well for me, but now I am faced with a problem. A close friend has developed a severe sensitivity to carrageenan. It's not as odd as it sounds, apparently. And I am told that Irish moss and its derivatives, such as Whirlflock, are the base for carrageenan. As a result, he's reluctant to drink my beer, and I don't want to be that sad guy who hangs out in his basement and drinks his beer alone. I need to find an alternative.
New friends.
Yeah. You could join JP in his basement. That'd be fun, right?
I wish I had a basement.
All right, so JP doesn't even have the basement to drink alone in.
Be happy to come over to your place.
Yeah, he could come over to your place. Just give me the address. I know of things such as gelatin, and I know that there are other agents, but I prefer to make only minimal changes to my process, if at all possible. Throwing too much sand into the smoothly running machinery doesn't seem like a good idea, so here are the questions. Yeah, I'm not sure gelatin is the right thing for a boil.
No.
For fermenter finings. 1. Does the carrageenan in Irish moss Whirlflock precipitate out with the bound proteins, or is there some left in suspension? I would imagine that the majority of it probably precipitates out if you used in the right quantity.
Yeah.
However, is it truly the carrageenan that's the issue, or is it some other thing related to the carrageenan that may actually get into solution that is now the issue?
Yeah, I don't know.
Hard to say for sure.
Yeah. Allergies are very often protein based, which the carrageenan would be.
So I imagine you could try using a little bit and seeing, it depends how bad this guy's allergy is. If it's just like he farts continuously for a day, then all right. If it's gonna like cause him to stop breathing, then don't screw around with it. But if it's just a something like that, you could maybe give it a try.
Yeah, half the dose. Versus.
Yeah. 2, is there a clarifying agent that can be added in the boil that works reasonably well?
No, carrageenan's is the only one I'm aware of.
Right.
All the others are fermenter or keg findings. You got gelatin, polyclar. What's the other one? I'm drawing a blank on the name. You have the plastic. You got fish guts. What's it called?
What?
The fish guts.
Isinglass?
Isinglass, yes. There you go. That's another one that's used in the fermenter or in the serving keg.
Right. Well, and then he says, which agent would most closely approximate the function of Whirlfloc regardless of application?
Well, Whirlfloc is designed to grab onto your protein haze.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah. So for haze formers... I
thought Whirlfloc, again, bound with the tannins? No. Bounds with the proteins?
Yeah, it's a hot... It helps encourage settling of the hot break and keep pulling haze forming proteins out.
Well, and he goes on and he says, I have heard that eggshells were used historically for this function. Would this be something reasonable to try? I don't think eggshells were used for that. I think eggshells are used more for the calcium addition that they provided. But I have heard the use of egg whites.
Yes.
As a kettle finding. So, yeah, you might try egg whites.
Okay. Egg whites, yep. That might work. Yeah. The as far as keg findings, to do the same thing, you'd be looking at polyclar is your best haze, finding. Well, polyclar and isinglass. Isinglass is more for a yeast clarifier, but polyclar is very good for haze.
Well, and then there is the other option: just drink hazy beer.
Yeah. Because that's
nothing
purely
wrong
cosmetic,
with that,
yeah.
Right. And you can, or just let it sit for longer, and a lot of that haze will drop out, and it'll
cold condition.
clear up. It'll clear up over time.
Yeah.
So, if it were me, I'd see if the guy has any issues with, what kind of an allergy it is, and if you can experiment with the dosage.
Yeah.
And maybe your existing beer is fine. Who knows? And if not, then I would shift over to the egg whites. Give that a try.
Yep.
And if not, then I'd just go with settling time. And if not that, then just go out and get some other friends that aren't have this. The disabled usually, can be discarded in society. Clearly, there's other able-bodied people that you could put in there instead of this disabled friend with his allergy that clearly is dragging you down. So
even during this holiday season,
yes, you could replace that person with a fully abled digestive tract, and maybe that's the best solution right there.
Do you have any idea how to use the egg whites into the boil?
I would add them just maybe the last few minutes.
Would you beat them first?
There's other kind of proteins you could add, I guess. Speaking of beating, you might whisk them with some water to kind of, so it's not one thick glob.
Yeah.
But whisk them with some clear water, and then cast it out across the surface.
Yeah.
Maybe set up a whirlpool, and
that might work better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I think they just coagulate.
A big ball.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good question.
Nothing like a cooked big ball.
Okay, well, here we got another one from Ricky Hart.
Ricky!
He says, "Hey, guys.
Hey, Ricky.
Can too much head affect yeast flocculation? Can too much head space in the fermenter, primary and or secondary, affect the yeast flocculation?" And then he goes on to explain how he brewed a couple months ago, split into two 2.5 gallon batches, each in its own 6 gallon bucket. One was brewed with Y Yeast 1056, and the other was Y Yeast 1272 American Ale 2, to compare the ale strains. And to make a long paragraph short, they said that they experienced some gastric distress with the 1272 batch, that it didn't flocculate as well. And so he's wondering if the cause of the non-flocculation was the too much headspace in that fermenter for the yeast.
Yeah, I mean, everything, including the phase of the moon, can have an effect on flocculation. Flocculation is one of the first things to get weird in yeast, but I would think that generally no, because you can ferment these things in open fermenters. Headspace really isn't a determinant on that. So, it may be, diameter to height ratio. I would think that you'd get better flocculation in a wider, shallower container. Well, maybe not.
Yeah, it may. He says that
actual flocculation might be better in a taller container, and then or a square container, and then settling would be better in a shallow.
Okay, I read this wrong. It says both beers consistently gave bad gas.
Might be something else. I mean, come on.
And he noticed that the 1272 didn't flocculate as much as the 1056. I would not expect. I agree with you. I would not expect headspace to be an issue for flocculation, or at least a primary issue for flocculation. It may have had something more to do with perhaps infection or a contamination in the batch in the fermenter.
Right. I mean, how certain is he that it's actually yeast? Sometimes people see what looks, like yeast, but
it could be
not actually yeast.
Yeah.
It's something else. It's some other haze causing material.
Yeah. Well, good question. We don't have a real solid answer for you.
But, other than I don't think it's
I don't think it's that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeff Burton, Max Efficiency. Hey kids.
Hey Jeff.
Hey kids. There seems to be some confusion amongst my club and our local brew shop owner. He claims that the maximum efficiency with batch sparging is 65%.
No.
He also suggests to get better efficiency, simply add more grain. Can you clarify this for me, please? Well, you're not going to get more improved efficiency by adding more grain. You'll get more. You could possibly get more yield.
Yeah.
But you have to. There's a lot that depends on that. I mean, the volume you're running out and various things like that. Yeah, and I don't think batch sparging is limited to 65%.
No, I used to get 80, no problem.
Yeah.
So it's you're not limited to 65, and your efficiency depends on, as you say, a lot of factors in your mash tun. Dead space under the false bottom or what have you.
Crush,
right.
The modification of the grains. Temperature, time.
Yeah. pH.
It's just a whole world of things.
Right. But in terms of yield, I used to get 80% no problem from batch sparging. So depends on recipe and all these other factors you mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
Okay. My turn. Okay. Here's one for you. This is from Josh Zimmer. And He's talking about bottling from a keg at room temperature. Says, hey, Jamil and John, I recently listened to the Progasm series out of curiosity and also because I've been having some carbonation issues bottling from the keg at room temp. I'm fairly new to kegging, and since I don't have the option of chilling my kegs prior to bottling, I'm forced to bottle my beer at room temperature. I keep my kegs in the fermentation room, which is controlled at 67F, and bottle in the same room, but I'm sometimes having serious foaming issues at first and then towards the end of bottling. And it seems like some of these bottles are seriously undercarbonated. He's wondering... he's using a Blickman beer gun, and he's bottling at about 3 psi. He usually bleeds the keg of the carbonation pressure. He says he's been carbonated at 30 psi, and then he'll start bottling. So he bleeds off the excess pressure in the keg, then starts bottling from the keg.
And this is all at room temperature?
Yeah, room temperature.
Well, here's your problem.
Yeah. Really, that's about...
Right.
That is the cause of the foaming problems.
Yes. The warmer a liquid is, the less gas it wants to hold.
Right.
So in order for the... Blickman beer gun is truly magic.
Yeah.
And truly the easiest way to get beer into your bottle. Mm-hmm. But the liquid will only hold a certain amount of gas for the temperature it's at. So it needs to be...
Cool.
If you look at your carbonation chart, the volume CO2 chart, it needs to be, at a minimum, the temperature that holds that volume of CO2, and then no problem. You can go warmer than that, and the CO2 starts to come out. It just doesn't all come out at once, but it's starting to come out, and that's why you get some foaming.
Yeah,
right, because you're higher than that temperature. If you can get below that temperature to hold that volume of CO2, and you have that certain volume of CO2 in there, and your temperature is lower than that, that CO2 will stay in there.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, it will start pulling in more CO2. Well, if you get it cold enough, right, and you expose it to the air, it'll start actually taking CO2 out of the air. So that's the trick. Just make it cold enough, and it's I've been able to fill no problem, but I do it cold.
He doesn't say, but I wonder if the length of the hoses on the Blickman beer gun may be an issue as well. Because if you shorten those...
Yeah, true. I mean, you can... Well, he would need to lengthen it?
Yeah.
But he'd need, miles. If it's warm. I mean, if it's room temperature...
It's not going to help much. I mean, really...
All right.
Being able to chill it down somehow would help him, would really solve this problem.
Yep. So there you go. There's a solution. All right. Let's take a short break, and when we come back, more of your questions after this.
Williams Brewing is your online resource for prompt delivery of quality home brewing supplies. Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and freshest ingredients and the best customer service in the business. Cut hours off your brewing sessions by using one of our 11 varieties of famous Williams malt extract. Our Williams Belgian Pale Extract is mashed with pure Belgian 2-row malt and a small percentage of Belgian wheat malt for an authentic Belgian character you just can't get from other extracts. Or check out our unique fermenters, 2.5-gallon kegs, paintball tank-based draft beer equipment, bottling aids, and much more. We even have our own line of precision hydrometers. Go to williamsbrewing.com to browse our vast selection. That's williamsbrewing.com. Orders placed by 3:30 p.m. Pacific Time ship the same day. Brewing is easy. The Williams way.
Hi, I'm Jason Harris, the proud owner here at Keystone Homebrew Supply. We're thrilled to be entering our 20th year of supplying this great industry, and to show you, the Brewing Network Army, how much we appreciate your support, we're offering you 10% off your first order on our website, KeystoneHomebrew.com. Just use coupon code BNARMY at checkout, and I'll get your order out the same day. My goal at Keystone Homebrew Supply has always been to have a complete supply of everything a brewer could want. When you place your order online or when you come into our store, it's our goal to have everything on your list and more. One aspect of KeystoneHomebrew.com that we're really excited about is the ability to fulfill customers' exact grain bills. Do you hate to wait? Keystone Homebrew Supply can get your precious yeast and hops to you within just one day if you live between Connecticut and Virginia, and within 2 days east of the Mississippi. KeystoneHomebrew.com.
Coupon code BNARMY.
I'm Jason Harris, and I approve this message.
Hi, I'm Jamil Zanishev, and in addition to my work on the Brewing Network, I write the Style Profile column in every issue of Brew Your Own magazine.
Hi, I'm Sean Paxton, and when I'm not prepping for the Homebrewed Chef on the Brewing Network, you can find me writing articles on how to cook with your homebrew for Brew Your Own magazine.
Greetings, cretins. This is John Palmer, and when I'm not writing for Brew Your Own, I'm reading it.
John Palmer, Sean Paxton, Jamil Zanishev. If you love listening to them on the Brewing Network, you'll love reading their articles, tips, and recipes in the pages of Brew Your Own magazine. Join Jamil, John, and Sean 8 times a year in Brew Your Own. And when you subscribe to BYO on the Brewing Network website, half of your subscription price goes right back to the BN to support great beer and food programming. So sign up for Brew Your Own magazine through the BN website today so you can listen and read your way to better homebrew.
When Michael Fairbrother started moonlighting, he had no idea how quickly his dream was going to grow. Having homebrewed for 15 years, Michael decided to go pro, but not with beer. While attending his homebrew club meetings, he saw ladies knocking their men out of the way to try his mead. Moonlight Meadery is now 2 years old and can produce 200,000 bottles a year. It's the first New Hampshire winery to ever distribute to California and Australia. In fact, you can find Moonlight Meadery meads in Connecticut, Massachusetts, Maine, Rhode Island, Vermont, and New Hampshire, and they ship direct to 17 states. They produce 56 different varieties of mead and are unlike anything you've ever seen on the market. Michael Fairbrother at Moonlight Meadery is a real success story that can make the BN Army proud. Visit Moonlight Meadery in Londonderry, New Hampshire, or online at moonlightmeadery.com. What does craft beer mean to you? Is it a delicious way to support your town's local brewer? Or perhaps it's the perfect beverage to pair with those delicious meals at your favorite restaurant and at home. Regardless of whether you're thinking of pints or pairings, pilsners or porters, craftbeer.com is the site where craft beer lovers come together to learn and share. Craftbeer.com is brought to you by the Brewers Association and celebrates the best of American craft beer and its brewers. Craftbeer.com is the best place to find craft beer events, recipes, great feature stories, the most up-to-date brewery listings, and resources for your next beer tasting or dinner, like style guidelines, pairing mats, and charts. Get the inside scoop on new beer releases and special events from today's craft beer insiders, and chime in to share your own knowledge, perfect pairings, road trips, recipes, and more. Craftbeer.com, celebrating the best of American beer.
Are you a hophead? Beer lovers of all stripes will love Brewers Publications' latest release, IPA, Brewing Techniques, Recipes, and the Evolution of India Pale Ale by Mitch Steele.
I wanted to write a book that presented an accurate review of the history of IPA and also provided current technical brewing tips and recipe information. India Pale Ale is a style I love because it has a rich, fascinating history, and today it provides brewers a showcase for all the great new hop varieties that are available. I'm so proud of this book, and I know you'll enjoy all the recipes and thoughts from so many of the world's great IPA brewers.
IPA is available now from Brewers Publications at brewerspublications.com and your favorite homebrew store. Order your copy today and take your hop-forward beers to the next level.
American Homebrewers Association and Brewers Association members receive early notice and special discounts to most Brewers Publication releases. Visit brewerspublications.com to learn more and to find a schedule of author appearances. IPA by Mitch Steele. Get yours today.
Back to your hosts, Jamil Zanishev and John Palmer. Putting the testicles in technical. This is Brew Strong.
All right, we're back. We're wrapping up another
Q&A
fine Q&A show. You got another one for us, John?
I've got one good one. It's a three-parter. It's right up your alley.
3-parter.
Yeah.
Yeah, those get right up my alley.
I mean,
Just like JP, I'm not a fan of really long emails or long questions. It's like, dude, just get right to the point. If you need to, send me 3 emails.
Well, and it's nice, I mean, on the one hand, because people are communicating with you and they like you enough and they're sharing a personal thing, but for me to help you, it helps a lot if you just say what you want. And then after you ask your question, say, hey, I've learned a lot, and this is a history of my brewing, if you care. Well, but just get to the. Yes. If you get to the point, it just saves everybody a lot of time.
And let me tell you something. Let me give you a little insight into how I answer emails. If the question can be answered in the time it takes to drop a deuce, you're much more likely to get that question answered, because I'll be there. You know, I'm pinching one off. I got a few minutes. I'll rattle off an answer to you, right?
Yeah.
That's why a lot of them end with all right. And where's the toilet paper? So you keep them short like that, you're gonna get yourself a quick little snappy answer.
Okay, well, here is the question the first.
Which is funny, because the whole lead into this question was super fucking long and really boring. And now we're going to get into this long question. I just think it's pretty ironic. And that was indeed our second break.
Okay, question first. Is there anything wrong?
Yes.
With using
the show? Yes.
With using your mash wort to make a starter or priming as per your priming sugar for bottling?
Yes. Yes and no. I mean, it depends on what the wort's composed of. If it's some Russian Imperial Stout wort, you're trying to prime your Kolsch, I don't think that's a good idea.
Right.
So if all your beers are the same, then I guess that's fine. If it's you're always brewing the same beer time and time again, and you're priming the previous batch with the new wort for what's the same recipe, that sounds good.
Yeah.
If you're making starters and things like that, you don't really want necessarily high gravity. You don't want super low gravity. You don't want hops in it. So, or maybe 7 IBUs, but that's about it. 10 IBUs.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, he goes on to say in a long-winded section, JP never would have read, that he's targeting 103 or 1030, 1040 OG for this wort.
Okay.
And so,
1035 to 1040, right in there.
You could use it.
9 to 10 Plato.
It's not much different than using DME or malt extract to make up a starter wort, or priming with malt extract.
Yeah, I used to make starter wort from all grain. Just take base malt, mash it, run it out into the kettle, boil a little bit, and it's ready to go.
Yeah. Okay, so you can do that.
Yeah.
Second question. Is it smart to keep a lager yeast starter at lager ferment temps before pitching?
Well, again, how long before pitching? Are you talking a couple of weeks? Yeah, you got to keep it cold.
Yeah.
Keep it as cold as possible. But as far as pitching, you should be within 5 degrees of your wort temperature for pitching.
Okay.
So, yeah, it'd be a good idea to have it close to that temperature. Now, if you're going to pitch warm into warm wort, then you want the lager yeast to be warm, again, within 5-10 degrees. And then you would cool it down afterwards. I'm not a fan of that, but
right.
People do that. But you always want your yeast within a certain temperature. Now, a lot of times people ask this because they're like, okay, then I should make my starter at lager yeast fermentation temperature. Not necessarily. You can grow your lager yeast at room temperature, just like your ale yeast.
Uh-huh.
Once it's grown up, then you can you can gently lower the temperature down, over the course of a day or two to whatever your lager fermentation temperature is going to be.
Not just stick the flask in the fridge?
You can. but it depends on how much stress it is. I mean, you could wrap a towel around it or something and slow down the drop. If you chill or heat yeast too rapidly, they express these heat shock proteins.
Okay.
And that takes, a tremendous amount of energy, and it changes the way that the yeast behaves. So, it's better not to do that.
Okay. Last and final. When cool conditioning an ale or lagering, should it be without CO2, aside from purging the oxygen from the keg? Or do you guys put CO2 on the keg while it's in this stage?
Well, if you're, very slowly lowering the temperature of the beer with lager yeast, and you don't go below 40 Fahrenheit, and you want to sit and lager, then I wouldn't put CO2 on it. Just enough to keep, it from sucking in.
Then.
Yeah. But if you're not doing that, then CO2 is fine, and just crash chill it. And
yeah. When it comes to when I cold condition an ale, it's when I put it in the keg, I purge the keg, fill up the keg, I pressurize it, and throw it in the fridge at 35,
and leave it hooked up to CO2, and it both cold conditions and carbonates at the same time. You wait a week,
and it's ready to serve.
Conditioned, it's carbonated, a lot of the little crap is falling out. You're ready to rock and roll.
Yep.
Same here.
And finally, thanks, guys. Keep it up. Sorry about the first question. I know it's grueling, but I think I may be a genius compared to you guys. Oh, no, it says I might be a genius unless you guys tear it apart and tell me I'm a novice idiot. Okay. No worries. Make beer, love peace. Snap off yourself a fresh piece.
Did you really say that?
Yeah. Not in that order, really.
Snap yourself off a fresh piece. That's what we're talking about. New hose. Don't be shy. Snap yourself off a fresh piece. Oh, yeah.
Good questions.
That's a blast from the past. We have fun doing the show. No kidding. All right. Unfortunately, we need to take one more break. And when we come back, we'll wrap up with one more hour of your questions after this.
BN Army, HopTech has a great discount waiting for you. Do you often find it difficult to find specific specialty ingredients for your homebrew recipes? Well, listen to this. HopTech stocks 59 different grains to choose from, 39 varieties of pellet hops, and 8 kinds of whole leaf hops. And HopTech not only carries Y yeast and White Labs yeast for you, but also Fermentus, 04, 5, 6, 23, 33, and T58 Belgian yeast, plus Cooper's, Nottingham, and Windsor yeasts. Got your recipe ready to go? Pick up some great brew gear like new long and short sleeved shirts, games, and more. HopTech's new website is being updated every day with new items. If you don't see it, call the shop. They're open 6 days a week. BN Army and AHA members get a 10% discount, and active military personnel get 15% off. Visit HopTech.com today for great selection, great service, and a great discount. HopTech.com.
That's it. I've had it. I am never putting hops in my beer again.
What? Why?
It's just too ridiculous. Insane prices, stupid contracts, high shipping costs, crappy selection.
Dude, you need Nico Brew.
Nico Brew will rock your f***ing face right the f*** off your f***ing skull. $5 shipping to all 50 states, plus fantastic international rates get you low prices on Nico Brew's great selection of hops and more. Whether you're a home brewer, a pro brewer, or a homebrew shop owner, Nico Brew can get you the hops you need in increments big and small, single orders, spot buys, or full contracts. And there's only one place to join the uber special secret elite bare bones club where you'll get the best deals anywhere.
Holy f***ing shit!
NicoBrew.com. NIKOBREW. Nico Brew, your bare bones buddy in the brewing business.
Tonight is the night.
We bring the creature to life, Dr. Blickmanstein?
Yes, J.P. Gore. Everything is perfect for my next fermented creation.
My daughter, the storm is too far away. We'll never have enough power to isomerize the creature's alpha acids.
Yes, J.P. Gore, we will. For I have in my possession the Tower of Power.
Brew's new Tower of Power is the evolution of automation. Control hot liquor, sparge, and mash temps like a pro. The Tower of Power is a high-quality gas-fired rim system that works with your current brewing setup. With ultra precision, the tower can hold your mash to 1/2 of a degree Fahrenheit. Precision and repeatability. The Tower of Power is the answer to automatic, fast ramp times. See more at BlickmanEngineering.com. Bring your next creation to life with the Tower of Power.
Dr. Blickmanstein, with the Tower of Power, you can probably give me an afternoon at the pub to enjoy a pint.
Don't be silly, J. Pegor. We have beer to brew.
When I order a beer, I want my server to know more about it than I do. I want someone who enjoys good beer and loves helping others enjoy it too. I want someone who knows how to pour a perfect pint for any beer style. I want a Cicerone. The Cicerone certification program is creating the type of people who help you enjoy great beer. Home brewers and craft beer lovers know beer is more flavorful and complex than ever, and it takes some serious knowledge to store and serve beer right. Cicerones know beer. There are 3 levels in the Cicerone program: Certified Beer Server, Certified Cicerone, and Master Cicerone. Cicerones are truly the sommeliers of beer. The best beer locations have a certified Cicerone on staff. Relaxed and unpretentious, Cicerones are tested on storing and serving beer, beer styles, flavor and tasting, the brewing process and ingredients, and pairing food with beer. Learn more about your next beer guide at cicerone.org. Certified Cicerone, because it takes top talent to present a perfect pint.
All right, BN Army, it's trivia time. What's the only homebrew shop with over 1,000 recipe kits, $4.99 shipping on orders over $100, and is also home of the Wolf Shirt? The one and only answer is Austin Homebrew Supply. For over 20 years, they've specialized in creating recipes such as the best-selling Texas Blonde Ale, Apocalypso, Hot Bomb 2.0, and Double Chocolate Stout. And they just recently unveiled their small grain kits that produce 1 gallon of beer. Visit AustinHomebrew.com to browse their extensive catalog of equipment and ingredients. They also have mini clone recipes of your favorite commercial beers. They're the exclusive retailer of Brew Vent Yeast Fuel as well, Yeast Nutrient, and the all-new Bodybuilder. Follow Austin Homebrew Supply on Google Plus to participate in video hangouts on popular brewing topics. So visit AustinHomebrew.com today and make sure you sign up for their weekly email with news and specials. Austin Homebrew Supply, AustinHomebrew.com.
A vial of White Labs yeast is the key to your best beer. When you open a vial of White Labs yeast, you're giving your beer its best chance for a perfect fermentation. In addition to their already incredible variety of yeasts, White Labs is proud to announce WLP 90, San Diego's super yeast, now available year-round. WLP 90 is super clean, super fast fermenting, with low esters and has a neutral flavor and aroma profile. It's alcohol tolerant and highly flocculent. For more of the latest White Labs news, click over to whitelabs.com, where you can read reviews of yeast, learn in the lab section, and join the customer club. And if you should find yourself in San Diego, White Labs has a brand new training facility for craft brewers and home brewers alike. Whitelabs.com. Discover yeast, nutrients, enzymes, and more for commercial breweries, home brewers, and homebrew stores. White Labs. It's all in the vial.
Back to the beer guys that make other beer guys look like wine guys. Brew strong.
All right. We're going to wrap this up here with any questions from the chat. People listening live, you go to thebrewingnetwork.com. You can listen live, and you can also chat with JP during the show and ask any questions and participate through that fine medium. What questions do we have today, JP?
This is from Stretch, and Stretch asks, has Jamil had any long-term negative effects from gallbladder removal? My wife just has hers removed and just wondering what might be coming down the pipe.
Yeah, it's the stuff coming down the pipe you got to worry about. No, I thought it'd all be about beer. No, long-term negative effects. I know that they say that, all of a sudden fatty foods and things like that would be a problem for you, and you'd have all this sort of problem. In my case, my gallbladder was removed because it was not functioning at all. It was not. They have this test where they inject you with this radioactive dye, radioactive iodine, and it drops into your gallbladder, into a little gallbladder sac.
Okay.
And then they inject you with this thing to make your gallbladder contract and shove it all out. You know, like it's introducing bile to like it's functioning. And you're supposed to get a certain amount of contraction. Mine just went, and didn't really do anything. They're like, yeah, that thing doesn't work. Like, okay. So they cut it out. So I really had no change because mine wasn't working anyways. So I guess maybe the years leading up to that where it wasn't working and had the horrible shits or something, maybe that would have been from that. I don't know. So no, I don't know. But they say high fatty foods, avoid super fatty foods because that will cause problems.
What, the runs basically? Or?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, just there's you don't have the bile to break it down, and I guess the bile's for breaking down fats and things like that.
Yeah.
So you don't have the bile production to do that. So that would be your answer, I think. All right.
Okay.
Medical talk with John and Jamil.
So he should expect,
there's some runny shits,
problems with fatty foods.
Yeah, he gives his wife fatty foods, and she'll stain her pants. Maybe that's my esteemed medical opinion.
Fair enough.
So there you go. You might ask your doctor and see what they say, but everybody's different.
He says, "Awesome."
There you go.
There you go.
Glad I could help. Alrighty, another fine show. If you enjoy this show, make sure to check out our fine sponsors, Blickman Engineering, Blickman with 2 N's, engineering.com.
AdamandEve.com.
AdamandEve.com. Check out the AHA. Check out
Brew
Your Own. Check out the Brewing Network's Homebrew U series of DVDs in the store now. Check them out. thebrewingnetwork.com/store. They got other great things in there. John's excellent book, How to Brew. Mitch Steele's IPA book. All fantastic books. Get yourself a copy today, and big chunk of that price goes to help Brew Network keep these shows going. So don't be shy. Buy yourself some goodies. Buy yourself some glassware. Buy some shirts, hats, books. If you need DVDs, all that stuff, and it's just meant to give you something of value while you're supporting the Brewing Network and enjoying all the free stuff. So you need some way of getting some revenue going, and that would be it. And what else? See you at the Homebrewers Conference. June, coming up. Be there. Don't miss us.
National Homebrew Competition. I may actually enter this year.
Cool.
What?
I won't.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think it'd be fun to actually step up on the stage,
Yeah. Wow, that's a big assumption there.
And announce
Palmer.
the winners.
Yeah.
All right. Till then, brew strong.
Brew strong, everybody.